It's a beautiful day in Gary, Indiana. Almost snow, but not yet. And I am so excited because I have the opportunity to cap this day off with another CWIT session. What's a CWIT session? I'm so glad you asked. A CWIT session is a pop-up conversation in a pop-up location with a surprise guest. Only this time, my guest was no surprise because I had to spill the beans in the CWIT sauce. I've been telling everybody that Greg Bush Jr. of KFA Inc. was coming for an interview with me. And then a snowstorm came. I don't know what it is about Greg and these storms, but this time he has made it to Gary on the eve of a storm. We are at WGVE FM 88.7. He just got off the air and I said I wanted to do, I guess, the After Dark show with you, Greg. You shared a lot about what you do as an IT guru, app developer, world-renowned businessman, and now he is right here on CWIT Session. Greg, welcome.
Thank you so much, Chelsea.
Thank you for coming to Gary.
It feels like you're talking about someone else when I hear you say that out loud.
No, I have sent the information out about you, and I have gotten messages and inboxes like, well, how did you know, and how did you get connected with this person? And that's the beautiful thing about public relations. You meet one person in one place, and they introduce you, and so on. And so one of your vice presidents is a former Urban League colleague of mine, Quintella. And she just kept telling me and raving about the work at KFA, and then more recently, the development of your app, PHAZE. And so we have gotten together to push out the word for what you are doing for entrepreneurs in our community. So I will turn it over to you to give us the rundown on what is PHAZE, P-H-A-Z-E. Take it away, Mr. Bush.
Thanks again, Chelsea. Yes, you got it right. P-H-A-Z-E. In the website, we'll put the pm.net at the end of that, and that's the website, phazepm.net. So PHAZE, I call it a web collaboration information system. And it's the result, or the brainchild, as they say, of my trade missions to Africa, specifically Eastern Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya. I was getting on a plane the next morning headed to Mozambique and then Tanzania. I was there when the pandemic started.
Oh my gosh.
The U.S., told me to get home, and I did. Remember that craziness at O'Hare,
yes,
trying to come home out of there. But what I realized in Africa was they were building their infrastructure, their universities, their hospitals, hotels, roads, skyscrapers, using the WhatsApp.
The WhatsApp.
Now, there's nothing wrong with the WhatsApp,
I mean, but that's pretty basic, right?
It's basic. You can attach a document, you can text, you can make some voice over IP phone calls. But they weren't realizing the benefits of information technology as we have here at home. And KFA, we've been in business for almost 30 years now, implementing information technology for the architecture, engineering, construction, and facilities management industry. To the point where in 2003, the U.S. Department never mind the department, but a U.S. department came in and wrote a white paper at the Chicago Transit Authority and cited our work as a best practice that every transportation agency in the United States should be following.
Now, see, I know those terms from grad school. Anytime it's a best practice, that means, hey, go do what they're doing, right? Benchmark from them.
To that point, an entire industry of professional services, information technology consultants has started up as now our competition, delivering these types of systems in the States.
Wow.
We taught the industry how to do it. We literally wrote the book on how to do it.
Yeah.
And these systems achieve project governance and controls. They make sure your contractors and vendors aren't squandering or wasting your money. They make sure people are doing things according to their project scope, according to their contract, staying within their budget.
Yeah.
Very structured workflows on how to get things done. So any public service in Illinois and some agencies in Indiana have utilized our services
Sounds like you need to come on over here to the school district.
Well,
We
I'm
have
ready.
a variety of projects. We are growing, we're doing football fields and swimming pools and roofing, and then all, like you said, with vendors, making sure the dollars are being appropriated correctly. But you know,
Yes.
COVID changed that whole industry as far as now everybody's looking for vendors and contractors and everything is slowed the process. Has that impacted your business in any way?
Well, the letting and the request for proposals for
Uh-huh.
the industry has really been broken out to smaller packages.
Okay.
And unfortunately, the procurement departments and the managers seeking vendors, they don't think technology. They just know they need to build something.
Exactly.
So
And that's
I'm
where you're
here
coming.
to let the world know, let Gary know, that let's not just hire the contractor, trust they're gonna do everything the right way and not give you a change order a year after they started with all these bills to pay that are over the budget.
Oh, we forgot that we had to add this extra cog and here to the screw, and so it's gonna be another million, sorry.
So contractor friends, don't get mad at me, but it's to your benefit because these systems also provide an audit trail for you, CYA for you, and proof that you did do your work the right way the first time. And so there is no dispute, there are no claims, there is no litigation when it's time to close out the job.
And they may wanna do business with you again as a result of the way you conducted yourself so in an organized fashion. So I have to have you to tell the story for our lay people, our non-geeky techie people who say, what does the app do? I love your analogy, the wedding coordinator.
All right, let's do it. So, as I described, the AEC industry and the FM facility management, architecture, engineering, construction, that's where PHAZE was born to service the industry in Africa. The COVID started, and I realized every entrepreneur needed a solution because these entrepreneurs can't afford these $1 million implementations.
That's right.
That's our core business.
I can't.
Well, what I've done, let's talk about the wedding coordinator. That's the analogy we like to talk about. So I pivoted PHAZE and made it for every entrepreneur, every type of business, small to large enterprises, basement startups. If you're a wedding coordinator, you have the bride and groom, the bridesmaids, the groomsmen, the caterer, the seamstress, the DJ,
All kinds of
the
vendors.
baker. You have everyone you need to, as a coordinator, communicate with, give tasks, due dates. All of these things need to be done for you to deliver the most extraordinary, beautiful wedding you can to the bride. Now,
And the groom.
and the groom, you know it's for the bride.
It's for the bride, you're right.
Now, in that effort, without PHAZE and without a big finance IT system, you're emailing, you're texting, you're making phone calls, perhaps you're tracking in Microsoft Excel, or you have some other, my brother calls them hacks. You have some other system trying to manage your business. All of these separate systems are great concepts. They work, but they're all separate. Your teams, your stakeholders don't have access to your systems. And everyone's working on a different playing field. They're in a different state of getting the work done.
That's okay.
So,
I heard
in
you
the-
mention on the radio too, one of those is Google Docs. I hate Google Docs. Okay, you love Google Docs? I hate Google Docs because it's like everybody's in there and then you change it. I'm like, now what version is this? And you gotta look to see who made what change. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. And no, you know, I love Google for a lot of reasons.
Yeah,
But that's not my favorite tool.
me neither.
The concept of Google Docs, which is a quasi Microsoft solution, you know, it has Word, their version of that, it has their version of spreadsheets and so on. Well, in PHAZE, rather than use all these, we call them disparate, disconnected, separate solutions, I put true Microsoft document editor inside of PHAZE. You don't even need Microsoft Office on your cell phone, your tablet, your computer.
It's in the program.
It's in the program, in my PHAZE cloud. So as you collaborate with the spreadsheet and you send it to the bride, tracking things, tracking budget, whatever you're doing in that spreadsheet, it's one record. It's not a record you emailed them and then tomorrow you update it, and they have the old copy.
Oh my goodness, like that's the wrong version. No,
That's right.
I said we changed the flowers to tulips, and you're like, oh, well, that was yesterday. That's brilliant.
So with PHAZE, any workflow process, whether it be the workflow of looking at colors with the bridesmaids, or it's the workflow of designing the Obama campus. PHAZE is designed to handle all of that. Any business process out of the cloud, any business process in your organization that I don't even know you have, whether it be a 3-step workflow or a 15-step workflow, it simply works out of the box with no consulting firm like a KFA or Deloitte or these big 5 consulting firms.
The big firms we can't afford as small business owners, you've developed a solution for us to manage our workflow, which makes us work smarter. And like you said, cover yourself when you can say, I know you opened that document because the PHAZE app shows that you received it, you opened it, and this is the deadline, and you were aware that that document was due back to management yesterday.
So you're gonna join my sales team?
Yes, I'm selling it right now. I
PHAZE
get
has
it.
a complete audit trail for everything.
Okay.
Another benefit and reason why the mega jobs we worked on, I implemented the system for President Obama's the ARA Act.
Okay.
Okay. The reason that was, remember, that was a $50 billion program.
Project. Yes.
Right? Well, how do you track $50 billion? You need a system. Then you need millions of dollars to pay a KFA firm to come make the system work. All the best, even better than what we did that old system all those years back. PHAZE does even more than that does.
Now.
But guess what?
What?
$5 per user per month.
$5.
I have a trademark pending technology, so it's in my beta platform. I haven't pushed it to the public yet because I'm working on the trademark. But I have a system, I'm not even supposed to talk about it, but I'm working on getting it down to just a flat $5 per company.
That would be awesome for us small business owners. I mean, we're always looking for ways to do business better, to dispel the myths that we don't provide great service, that we don't have the records to show what was done. And I feel like PHAZE is the perfect opportunity. So people, I know you have a 3-month trial that's available for people to see how it works with their business, because it sounds like it's a one-size-fits-all type deal based on what your workflow is. And so how do people try it out to see if it fits with their business?
Well, what I'm doing, thank you for that. And that's a special that I set up for you and for your listeners.
Yes.
And for tonight, because it's usually not 3 months.
Right. Oh, I
So
put it out there 3 months. For you guys.
3 month, no cost, no credit card needed to even get started trial, where I'm even going to give everyone an hour of my time to onboard you into the system, show you the basics of how to use it, show you where my training videos are, my step-by-step work instruction, where that is. And after 3 months, if you don't realize the benefit, then you can close your account. But I'm doing this, first of all, Black History Month. I'm trying to make a difference and help the community. But this is all about public awareness in our community.
Yes.
Because as you just said, we can't compete because we're not on a level playing field.
That's right.
Now, the internet has leveled the playing field for e-commerce.
Right, we can all have a website and sell some stuff.
And you can make your website look just as great as Target.com or any other website. But until PHAZE, our small businesses did not have an IT department with $1 million budget and 10 to 50 employees in the IT department to go manage the big IT system.
That's right.
I've mitigated all of that to my cloud. I manage it. Disaster recovery, security, backups, everything that I'm supposed to do, so that everyone can go to my cloud and realize those benefits of the bid.
So you're telling me that CWIT PR, my little boutique PR firm, can have my whole little IT backup and all of my processes that I go through with various clients all wrapped up in one program that I don't even have to download to my phone. You told me that it's just, I log in because it's such a secure system.
That's right. Goal number 1 was no app to install.
Okay.
So no app store. Everything's managed via my website. You just need a browser, any cell phone, any tablet, any laptop, any desktop. Goal number 2 was a very intuitive, simple to use system because our clients and partners in the continent of Africa are doing business when I'm asleep. So I had to make it easy to use, right? And it's all, the goal was to make it self-manageable. You name one person in your organization to be the administrator, to set up new accounts. Set up new accounts for all of your users within your organization and your external stakeholders, whether they be your suppliers, vendors, or clients. So I know you and we have to get you set up.
Exactly.
Because we went back and forth via email.
We did.
Coming in the future is at this point, I'm gonna put it out there, I'm integrating PHAZE with Zoom.
Okay.
So now you'll be able to do and manage your PHAZE as a calendar system. Just like Microsoft Outlook has a calendar, you invite people, you get their RSVPs. All of that is in PHAZE today. Remember, I took all the best practices, put it in
Put
PHAZE.
it in one place.
I'm setting up Zoom inside my calendar system, so you don't have to leave PHAZE to go get in a Zoom meeting.
Right.
So it's a significant investment in our PHAZE cloud. It's software as a service. For the benefit, industry calls us DBEs, disadvantaged business enterprises, or they call us minority business enterprises, or women-owned business. This is the tool created for all of us.
Yes.
Remember, born out of Ethiopia and Kenya, the first trip. Literally, I'll share when I went back a year later after the discovery mission, and they just wanted me to come back and do some training. I came back with an app. Those business people had tears in their eyes.
I'm sure.
And
coming from WhatsApp to all of this.
I would never forget that experience. And we grew, and I just want to share with everyone, because I'm not just here to talk about me and this deal with PHAZE, but in your own businesses, I do encourage everyone to explore Africa.
Okay.
Contact me to tell me, I'll share with you how to get started. Because we have a stereotype of what we grew up seeing on TV about Africa. And I saw some of the most beautiful sights, the most wonderful people, and a sincere effort to better themselves. And we're helping that happen.
You are indeed. Greg, I just can't help. As you're telling the story, I'm picturing it in my mind of you getting off the plane and meeting with these folks and then getting the word that, we have a pandemic in our midst. In my opinion, listening to all that you have developed as a result over the past couple of years, that the pandemic, correct me if I'm wrong, fueled the growth of this because we all had to go virtual. We all needed platforms by which we could communicate more efficiently. So I feel like your timing, while you weren't able to stay in Africa, you had to wait and come back, but of what you were doing, the work, the pandemic said, now, see, this is really a need.
The pandemic not only fueled that, but it made my communication and my efforts doing business in Africa that much more productive and purposeful. And we worked with the U.S. Department of Commerce to identify companies in Africa that could utilize our services, our product PHAZE, and partner with us to help us not only resell PHAZE, but be professional. I certify businesses like KFA in Western Africa and East Africa. They go through my training. Now they're certified to support, to be administrators, to do training, and to resell my software for their profit.
Wow. So you are making a huge difference on the other side of the world. But yet you come back home, Chicago native, Glenwood transplant, back to Chicago, Bloom High School graduate, Chicago State graduate. Yes, I memorized your pedigree. Father and just family man and musician. But there's one thing that I have to point out that really stuck out for me and impressed me. So my mentor, who's the former mayor of Gary, Karen Freeman Wilson, is a double Harvard grad. So she did undergrad and then she went to Harvard Law. So I always tease when she comes up with a good idea. I'm like, wow, you really put that Harvard degree to work today. And we chuckle about it. But Harvard saw what you all were doing, took notice and said, wait a minute, we need to do a case study. Tell me about that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
It's very amazing. And there's more to that too.
And I try not to get choked up when I think about it. But yeah, about 18 months ago, through the amazing networking of Ms. Quintella, they contacted Quinn and she had conversations and they stayed in touch. And last summer, Linda Applegate, who created case studies at Harvard, this is her brainchild. And in fact, Linda, out of everyone at Harvard, she raises the most money for Harvard University.
All right, Linda.
Okay? Linda Applegate. Hi, Linda, if you ever see this.
She might.
Linda contacted us last summer and said she wanted to, do the case study. And of course, I jumped all over that. And,
right.
We worked with Linda and her team, including someone from Stanford University.
Another Eileen.
And I did the interviews. The first one we had the opportunity to do in person, and the rest were via everyone's favorite Zoom.
Yes.
And because of COVID, and that case study is finished. We were headed there I can't forget this. In December, would you believe, Quinn and I were keynote speakers with Linda Applegate, Harvard University, at 2 different conferences. Because
of our ability to be virtual. Because you all were virtual with it, right?
Yeah, it was supposed to be in person. Yes, it had to be virtual due to COVID. But what's just another amazing thing to think and say out loud. These were her peers, top universities in the States, including, MIT, of course.
Of course.
Now, Intel, NASA, I could go on and on. Now, these folks are figuring out how to get to Mars. This is what we're talking about.
And they're listening to you though.
And I'm talking. They're listening to me.
They're taking notes of Greg Bush. What did Greg Bush Jr. say?
We're talking about artificial intelligence and data science and deep learning and machine learning, and then we're talking about PHAZE. And they're just amazed. And Intel is like, we're talking about smart cities, and they want to work with me on some smart city projects, and it's what closed mouths don't get fed.
That's right.
Okay, and it's one thing, you can sit back humble in your basement or wherever you're working at home or whatever you're going to get your business up and running, but if you don't speak up and just get out there and take risks.
Oh my goodness. I say this all the time. Go ahead.
Well, the first trade mission was to Dubai, and I got to Dubai. Remember, we're a professional services IT firm. That means I'm doing something for you in exchange for a fee.
Right.
Now, it took me 20-something hours to get to Dubai. And I'm in Dubai saying, what the heck am I going to do in Dubai? How can I deliver human services for a fee here? So I came home and I created our first solution. We haven't even talked about that today.
I know, no,
it's called globeclouders.com.
Okay.
It's spelled just like it sounds. globeclouders.com.
Okay.
Anything GoDaddy.com can do, we do on globeclouders.com. I'm delivering to Dubai and anywhere they can access on the internet, servers, email, bandwidth, data, via our systems.
I know all my IT heads and my geeky friends are eating this up. But I look at it this way. Why not us? Why not you? And when you were on the radio earlier, you talked about, or it might have been Carl saying that you used the analogy saying that right now, the phase of PHAZE, the phase that you're in, you feel like a 1980-ish Bill Gates, rolling this out. And so I can say, let's go back and look at that YouTube video you and I did in 2022. And then the next thing we know, we are all global with it. I'm like, we're broadcasting from Dubai and so on. So I see it.
Yes.
And and all the things that you've done. And if Harvard is endorsing it, and they're doing case studies, and it gets better with Harvard. So I'll let you continue. Yes.
Yeah. You know, I was told black folks don't brag enough. So I keep forgetting these things.
Oh, I will remind you,
But,
I'm the professional bragger.
Harvard has invited Quinn and I to come to Harvard when COVID, gets better. The next executive business school class they start up, it's supposed to start in May. They want us to come to Harvard. See, I told you.
I know, and teach
They wanted
the
us to come
cohort.
to Harvard and teach our case study, lecture on our case study. It's just crazy.
That's
it's like,
amazing.
and Quinn always tell me, well, Greg, Dr. King and Malcolm X,
Yeah.
they came to Harvard and
Trailblazers.
lectured as well.
Yes.
And it's just amazing to be put in that same breath. I didn't tell you about my journeys with Marcus Garvey's son.
No, you did not. How did your paths cross?
Well, we were looking to do what we're doing in Africa, help them.
Mm-hmm.
We were looking to do the same in Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Pull me in on that project.
again, closed mouths don't get fed. We're doing what we're supposed to do, communicating with the opportunities given to us. There's systems and networks and agencies and councils that we all can join.
Yes.
We met some people via this. We teamed up and I put together a team to put in place a program management office to redevelop Kingston, Jamaica. Now, if you go to Kingston, Jamaica, it's like going in New York, going in the Bronx, and everywhere you look around, Biggie Smalls is on the side of a building. You go to Kingston, Jamaica, Marcus Garvey, murals of him, he's their hero. He's their national hero. Everywhere you go, there's murals of Marcus Garvey. Now his son, Julius, just retired at 85 years old. He was a cardiologist.
Okay.
He's still pushing for the legacy of his dad. And, there's a lot to be, this is a 2-hour conversation in this. But today a banana goes from down there by Costa Rica, by the time it gets to Miami, it's 2 weeks old.
Right. Right.
There in Jamaica, they have all the resources to grow what they grow, from hemp, cannabis, vegetable, everything they grow. And guess how fast they can get it to Miami?
Light speed.
Now, Marcus Garvey, this Black Star Line, he was trying to get products from these places back to Africa, to the States, and everyone can do their research of what happened there. But we were working with that same concept with Julius Garvey to build the infrastructure, power plant, airport, fire station, all of this for Kingston.
Right. So what happened?
COVID happened.
So that means that it can.
It's not over.
It's not over.
I'll put this out here because even though that team that we put together, everyone's off doing their thing. I'm still here. We're listening. At the time, and I'll say his name out loud, but I won't say his name out loud. That last president had a bipartisan $60 billion bill passed for the African diaspora. We were working with the powers that be in DC to work in Jamaica via the sovereignty of the United States government and working knowing that bill had just passed. This is a real thing, and dreams do come true. I was in the position, should we have been able to finish our work.
And you will.
I was about to hire 160 people.
You will.
In Kingston and the States, engineers, architects, contractors, project managers, laborers. We had a master plan developed by my team, my friends at Ardmore Roderick Engineering Group, and some others we were ready. I was ready to go. We met with every minister in Jamaica.
Well, here's what I think, and that's fascinating too, because you hadn't told me that I feel like there's a time and a space for everything. The way that COVID happened, when you were stepping off the plane and had to step back on, but the work hasn't stopped, and hopefully we're getting on the other side of COVID with the vaccinations and us being safe and being prudent about what we should do to keep ourselves safe. But I really, in addition to all of your international engagement and accomplishments, I need people to just know how it all began. I'm always loving to give that talking point that Greg developed his first computer program at the tender age of 13. At 13, I was thinking about who I was going to the sweetheart dance with at Tolliston Middle School here in Gary or something like that. But it was obviously a love for technology and music. And who's that, Greg?
Well, I'll tell you. Oh, let me add. It was Julius Garvey that was our guide through Kingston. That was closed out by Julius.
Yes. A legend.
Yeah, that's. I just saw him on Netflix. The Malcolm X documentary. Malcolm X and Dr. King. Julius Garvey was in it.
Your friend.
But oh yeah, age 13. Well, I give all credit to my parents. Hopefully they're able to listen tonight. They retired to Las Vegas, so they're not dealing with the snowstorm coming in.
Must
But
be nice.
it is
Mr.
nice.
and Mrs. Bush.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go before that computer program. My father took me to see Tron. I don't know how old I was when I saw Tron. Was I 10 years old, 12 years old?
Probably.
And we used to watch Doctor Who, the Doctor Who with the big curly afro and the long scarf. I was just into sci-fi. We were Trekkies, of course, Star Wars, everything was going on at that time. And I was just into sci-fi and the technology I saw on the TV. And
Did they teach you at school?
I was not a nerd.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Well,
it's okay to be a nerd.
It's totally okay.
Because nerds make the world go round.
Exactly.
So Quinn calls me a nerd. She said I'm a nerd, so I guess I'm a nerd.
Nerd alert.
But yeah, for the December 1983, I received, first it was a Texas Instruments computer, and right after I got it for Christmas, they announced they were going bankrupt, they're going out of business. So we took that Texas Instruments computer back, and I got a Radio Shack TRS-80. And I spent the rest of the Christmas break
You're a nerd.
learning.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I read the book. It was a little tape that with you back up to tape, you load basic off the tape. And I taught myself. I'm laughing because I.
But look at you now. He's the CEO of an IT company, and that's what it takes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm serious. I mean,
It's
you
true.
went after your passion early. A lot of times we have young people who have no idea what they want to do, and they're not even exploring what they want to do. And so you're in a place where we encourage, we're here at the Career Center, everybody, helping our young people to explore. And for those who didn't see the radio, I'm jumping all over the place, but if you didn't hear or see our radio interview earlier, Greg has offered to come back to talk to our students in the broadcast area. He's talked about scholarships that his company will be offering to students who are looking to study in STEM and STEAM, can't forget the arts, and scholarship opportunities for our graduating seniors. And he could have kept it to Illinois, where his company is located, but I know people. And so he's extending it over the state line to Gary. And so you have so much to offer, and that's why I knew that this was going to be a stimulating conversation. And I know that I'm going to get calls after. How do I reach him? I want to talk to him. I want to implement PHAZE. I want to talk to him about Dubai. I want to talk to him about Julius Garvey. I want to talk to him about Texas Instruments and taking the computer back. I mean, all of these things molded or have molded you into being our future Harvard presenter this next spring, and potentially creating a program that will change the way we do business as we know it today. How exciting is that? What does your family think? Your dad, you know, everybody, what are they thinking about?
Well, they're all proud. I have a text I can read to you now from my father. I won't bring it out.
He texted you?
He texted me yesterday.
Okay.
Was it yesterday? He sent me a text about, you know, how proud they are He said the last interview that he listened to, so someone recording, made him cry.
Oh, well, he's gonna boo-hoo on these. I have 2 for you, Dad, so they're coming.
So, yeah, everyone's proud. Most people, most of my family probably don't even know what I do or understand what I do until right now if they're listening.
Yeah, because you've broken it down.
I really don't, I see family, we eat the barbecue, and, I don't talk about work. But everyone knows I'm doing well because they see the material things. And everyone's proud, and my kids are doing well, and all of that. So, yes, everyone's proud of me, and I'm proud of them back because I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for their sacrifices. And I'm thankful for that. We all stand on bigger, the shoulders.
On the shoulders of those who come before us.
That's right.
So, Greg, before we get out of here, I'm going to have you do 2 things. First, I want you to look into all of these cameras and tell that young person who may just happen to stumble across this video, or I make them watch it or whatever, about pursuing their dreams and staying focused and doing the work. And then we're going to tell people once more how to get to PHAZE. But this coming from you, a world-renowned IT professional, groundbreaking, doing things that are unheard of. As a Black man, that's a whole separate show, but they need to hear it, and I want them to hear it from you.
Thank you. I didn't prepare a speech for that, but
just some
I
words.
just want to say, as we've heard in the past, yes I can, yes we can, and yes you can. Anything that you can dream up, you can achieve it. If you can believe it, as I say, you can achieve it. It's just a matter of having the tenacity to see it through. Now, all knowledge today with technology is free. You find any knowledge you want on the internet for free, whether it be YouTube or some other system, a master class or whatever it is, knowledge is free. I always advise everyone to find, and I won't even say the word mentor, find and observe a person, a product or thing or whatever your passion is, find it, observe it, understand it, learn about it, go master it, and find out how you can do it too, or even make it better.
I love it.
Okay, and the key is, I'm gonna tell you a quick story, and I know we're not here to talk about the other side of me.
Yes, we are.
But in 1993, 94, and we're talking to kids, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
1993, 94, Kanye West's mother, Dr. Donda West, came to me with her young son and said, my son wants to produce music.
Wow.
I was a salesperson at Guitar Center. I was a go-to person for doing music on computers, and I was a top guy at that store. Back in the day, it was 86,
you were a nerd.
8250. I was a nerd on everything. I was doing music, technology, whatever. Because I saw Kanye his Insonic ASR 10, and if you go to old YouTube videos, you see him even today. When he was at Northerly Ireland with his choir last summer, or before COVID, he had that ASR 10 playing it. I sold him that. I taught him how to use it. But the reason, and Kanye, if you want to dispute that, I've been waiting all these years for you to get back in touch with me, and we could talk about it. I still have my cases of discs and samples that Kanye would come in, his mother would drop them off, and he would come in and he would copy my samples and discs. I've heard some of those things, and then there's the CDs, which is wonderful. It's not that. It's wonderful that he had that tenacity.
Okay.
He studied. He was so quiet. It's like, it was a different person.
Right.
He was a sponge.
Absorbed.
Kanye never said much. You say, okay, Kanye, do this, that, click this button, do this, that, and that. He didn't say anything. He listened. He absorbed it.
He did.
And the next thing I know, he's a superstar. But the thing was, everyone around me in my circle that was into music production and doing music, he did the same thing with everybody.
Okay.
He observed, he got in the circles of people doing what he wanted to do. He learned from everyone, but guess what? He made it his own, created his own style and his own success out of that. Kanye spent one summer making hundreds of beats, as they say. That's why he blew up like he did.
Yeah,
Because
he built his catalog.
it was amazing what this kid did.
Yeah.
All of whether you're 13 creating your first computer program, or you're designing clothes, or you want to build robots, or whatever it is, there's someone else doing it as a career, as a hobby. There's a course, there's a club, there's something you can get into to start your dream today. Not after a 4-year college degree. We want everyone to get our college degree. We want everyone to even get that master's or PhD. But you don't have to wait to get started.
That's right.
The best thing you can do is walk in freshman year as a guru. Professor can't tell you nothing.
I cannot wait till you address our students here at the Gary Area Career Center. If you have been tuning in to this amazing conversation, then you already know this is Greg Bush Jr., President, CEO, founder, all of that of KFA Inc. But today we've talked about a variety of things, but central to the conversation, I want to drive it home, is the development of PHAZE, this program that brings all work processes into one place, making it very efficient, cost saving, and he is turning it over to us small business owners like myself so that we can do our work better. How can they find PHAZE before we get out of here?
PHAZE, PHAZEPM.net. Please go there. There's a chat bot in the lower, there's a contact page. But just interact with the chat bot, answer the questions. Don't say no to everything. Answer the questions, your answers, and your name and email address. I set it up to come straight to me for tonight. I will respond tomorrow. Let's set up a meeting. I will onboard you with no consulting fee, get you started into the software, and this, I haven't done this. 3 months of no cost. Not just to try it out, to use it for real in your business.
Implementation in your business. Mr. Bush, Greg, I feel like I know you now. It's been a while. I do. I want to thank you so much for traveling over to Gary. Not that it's that far, but as a busy businessman running a company, this indeed is a sacrifice, and it has been my honor. And we look forward to not only continuing the partnership with you here at the Career Center, with the radio station, with our students, the scholarship opportunities, and we are going to get your daughter Jordan in, a recent graduate of Ball State University over here in Indiana, to come and also talk about what she does, because she's a chip off the old block. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Any last word?
Well, all jokes aside, you may see me Friday because I'm coming to see the Jacksons.
Oh, well then I'll definitely see you Friday.
And I look forward to that, and I'll come back anytime. Thank you so much for having me, and I appreciate all of your listeners for tuning in. And you know, this, I hope I don't sound braggadocious. I'm just trying to.
You're inspirational.
Well, thank you. I'm here to help the community, and put it all on the table. Please, all of you will take me up on what I've offered today, because we just need this. If it was my company or not, if there was this system that I knew about, I would be letting the community know, because we need to make a change and compete on the same level of all the others that have. So they don't have to go the minority route. So I have to fill out the act to prove I'm black.
Because they're like,
right?
This has to be.
So, because they want their percent, they gave X dollars to a minority of company. Okay, it is what it is. I'm using the system, right? But the others don't have to do all of this.
Exactly.
But now use the app to help you compete as you go through the powers to be, the process, the systematic. I'll use inclusion today, because they're including us, giving us that 10% cut from the system. But Now you're gonna come with a technology that the others already have. And that's why perhaps they won the bid or they won the job, or they
Exactly.
closed the deal, because they had the system. I just gave you a system for free.
And he's
for $3.
giving you that backup to level the playing field. You have been watching a CWIT session with Greg Bush Jr. of KFA. CWIT session is a pop-up conversation in a pop-up location with a surprise guest, and he has imparted passion, knowledge, and inspiration to us tonight. I'm so proud to know him and to call him a friend. And I invite you to visit the websites, everything that he's talked about. Share this video. We're going to push this over to YouTube. We're on Facebook and Instagram now, and we are going to share it everywhere. We're going to push it back out to the thousands of CWIT subscribers, because I want my fellow entrepreneurs who are watching, aspiring entrepreneurs who are watching, to get on that level playing field. And Greg Bush is just the gentleman. He and his team are the people to help you do it. I want to thank all of you for watching. There's a storm coming if you're in the Midwest. Everybody be safe, mask up, and hunker down. But just know, people like Greg, myself, we're going to keep on working. Thanks, Greg.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thanks, everybody, for watching, and we will see you next time.